It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Friday, the 24th of October. I'm Michael Groff. Dry conditions with a warming trend as we head into the weekend. And by next week, daytime highs could likely exceed 90 degrees over parts of the lower deserts, including Phoenix. How long will this heat last? What about some rain chances? And yes, we'll talk about what's going on with Tropical Storm Melissa. That and so much more. But before we get into any of it, it is Friday, and that means it's Photo Friday here. That's where we take a look at some of the photos and or videos that you guys have submitted. And first up, let's check it out. This is from David Parnell. Trivium Prep was the place. Last Saturday was the time. And yeah, the homecoming game, the senior game, it's all there. And a beautiful weekend for some high school sports last weekend. So thank you, David, so much as always for having the lookout here all across the state. We love seeing all those pictures. This is from Chris Flores at the airport, Terminal 4 specifically from the other day. That is a sensational picture. Awesome stuff there. This is from Gary, and this is a sailplane over the Hood River looking toward Mount St. Helens. That is spectacular as well. And then these are from Jeff in Florence, and they got some rain down there the last couple of days, at least a little bit, and some thunderstorms in that area. We know that there was some pretty active weather over parts of Pinal County. That's just a little tease for some pictures coming up in just a moment. This is from Martha down in Tucson, who had about almost 2 inches of rain down there. So in recent days. So that's good news. Lots of rain across the state. Now, of course, drought conditions continue. This is not going to wipe out the drought by any means, the rain that we've had this month, but at least it's something and keeps the desert looking beautiful and lush and green. All right, this is a picture from the one and only Michelle. There's a rainbow there. It's a little hard to see at first, but yeah, you can see it right there near those two palm trees at the bottom. Beautiful picture. Love the clouds. Love everything going on in that picture. That was actually from the other day, just as some very light showers were around Studio B. And then Miles Sampson was up in Colorado. And of course, the fall foliage is ongoing up there. And it is turning quite chilly. In fact, we've had some snow, of course, for parts of Colorado in recent days. And of course, we'll probably see more before too much longer, although a fairly dry weather pattern will take place over a good portion of the Southwest, at least for a while. Now this, speaking of the Southwest, is not from the desert Southwest, nowhere near the Southwest United States or the United States in general. This is off the coast of Greenland. There's an iceberg there. That's from Natalie. Awesome picture. And then, of course, as mentioned, yes, active weather in Pinal County near Ryan Seek, where he takes these pictures. This is from the other morning. Yeah. Showers and thunderstorms, and of course, some prolific lightning with those storms out over the open deserts as well. So we really love to see those. And then here's another lightning shot, but that's not from Ryan Seek. That is from Zane down in Brisbane, Australia. A pretty strong thunderstorm produced some hail that he says up to 5 centimeters in size. And for those of you who want your metric conversions, well, 2.5 centimeters approximately is an inch. So 5 centimeters, that's what, 2-inch diameter hail. It's pretty big hail. And so great pictures from Zane. We love to see those international pictures. We had Greenland, we had Australia. Love it. And if you want to submit something for Photo Friday, groffshow@gmail.com is our email address. That's groffshow@gmail.com for Photo Friday. All right, let's get into it here. The almanac from yesterday. 84 degrees was the afternoon high here in Phoenix after a morning low of 64. 87 and 63 are the averages for this time of year. And no rain in the bucket yesterday. We're still on the plus side and will remain so even if we don't get another drop of rain for the rest of the year. Looking outside right now at the pretty early hour of 5:55 a.m., we've got mostly clear sky out there. 64 degrees to start this day at Sky Harbor. Dew point's 44, humidity 49%. The winds are light and the barometer is steady. Satellite picture out here across the Southwest. We put this in motion. that area of low pressure that brought the unsettled weather on Wednesday, and a few showers and storms even in northern Arizona yesterday. That is moving off to the east. And high pressure is building in here over the southwest. And another trough of low pressure moving into the Pacific Northwest. We'll watch that, but of course, all of that is going to stay far to the north of us. The main storm track will stay away from here for quite some time, and we will be left with a warming trend in the wake of all that. The watch warning map, freeze warnings for places like Milwaukee, Sheboygan, Kenosha, Chicago, Indianapolis, down towards Cincinnati. A flood watch is in effect from Dallas-Fort Worth up toward Oklahoma City. Some heavy rain, some strong storms are possible there today and tonight. And speaking of, this is the convective outlook for today. There's that standard risk, the slight risk of severe storms, level 2 out of 5 for a fair portion of Texas, particularly west and central Texas, Midland, Odessa, Lubbock, Childress, Dallas, Fort Worth, San Angelo, San Antonio, Waco. And so all modes of severe weather will be possible, even a few isolated tornadoes. Again, really from Midland up to Lubbock, over to Dallas, Fort Worth, down to Houston. Could see a few tornadoes possible there today and tonight. The tropics in the Atlantic Basin, well, it's pretty quiet except for Melissa. And Melissa is still a tropical storm having a hard time getting organized, undergoing quite a bit of shear, but we do believe that shear will begin to ease over the next day or two, and this is expected to become a hurricane. Now, how powerful this system gets, I know we've talked about it yesterday, and you're going to see it all over social media, all over the place. You know, some people are already declaring this to be the most powerful system that's ever occurred in the Atlantic or Caribbean. Let's slow our roll just a little bit. That being said, this is a dangerous storm for places that will be directly or already being directly affected by it. The island of Hispaniola, especially Haiti, Cuba, and of course, Jamaica. And looking at the official advisory from the National Hurricane Center, this is expected to become a hurricane over the weekend, a major hurricane, category 3, perhaps category 4, as we go into early next week, kind of moving west and just meandering along. And this will have substantial impact on Jamaica, perhaps catastrophic, life-threatening rain, wind, all across not only Jamaica, but for Cuba, parts of Hispaniola, and eventually possibly up into the Bahamas. And that's not hype. That's the reality of the situation with this system right now. It is there. It is not going anywhere for a while, and this is expected to intensify. Although there are some models that don't show it intensifying much, the problem is the waters here in the Caribbean, this is untapped territory. We have not had any systems really tap into this, and so these waters are still very warm, anomalously so across the central and western Caribbean, and this will become a more favorable environment for development, unfortunately, over the next several days. All right. Looking at some of the modeling on this is the tropical model set, and again, I know people have speculated, or we've seen it on social media, that this will affect Florida, the East Coast. This will form and merge with a trough to form a superstorm Sandy type scenario up in the Northeast. Probably not. Based on modeling, no, that will not happen. The tropical models take this out to sea. But again, a catastrophic storm for places like Jamaica, Hispaniola, Cuba, maybe the central and eastern Bahamas. Looking at the GFS ensemble, again, you know, we do have a few of these outlying members that try to bring this toward Cape Cod and, you know, the upper Atlantic coast. A few do bring it into the Canadian Maritimes, and that's at least a very low chance we could see it up into parts of Canada. But for the most part, the ensemble mean and the preponderance of guidance takes this out to sea. The European ensemble, same story there. So again, let's worry about if it will impact New England or Canada once we have a better idea as to where this is going. We don't need to hype this up and give people any more anxiety than they already have about these kinds of systems. We certainly don't want to spread false information. So that's why we're talking about this stuff on this channel. We kind of want to have at least a little bit of a grounded, more scientific, objective approach to how this is going. In the East Pacific, we do have a wave out here with a decent chance to develop over the next couple of days. There's still a high chance this will develop into a tropical depression or storm. But this is very, very unlikely to have any impact on our weather or any impact on anybody. This will not impact Hawaii, as this is expected to die out long before it gets anywhere close to the Hawaiian Islands. Closer to home, the precipitation outlook valid through Friday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix, nothing. Statewide, nothing. Region-wide, basically nothing. This pattern is not going to change much. We are in a blocking pattern with the main storm track well to the north of Arizona. That's not completely uncommon here in late October and even into early November. But let's talk about this pattern in more detail. To do that right now, we'll explore the models, see what the future may hold. Here we go. This is the GFS, the 06Z run, valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. The upper look at 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet up. Upper low moving into Texas, and that will be the focal point for some strong thunderstorms today and tonight. Otherwise, a very impressive trough off the Pacific Northwest coast, and the Northeast Pacific will watch that feature. And a trough pulling down some cooler air in the Northeast and the eastern seaboard. So for us down at the surface for the rest of the day today, with that low moving out and the upper heights returning to near seasonal averages, mostly sunny, a bit warmer, mid-80s. Warmest desert spots, upper 80s to low 90s across the Colorado River and two parts of southeast California. For tonight, sky clear, air dry, overnight lows, mostly in the 50s to low 60s in Phoenix. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a little bit warmer, highs mid to upper 80s. Same thing on Sunday, mostly sunny, mid to upper 80s. So the weekend, Saturday and Sunday looks dry, mid to upper 80s. Same thing Monday, close to 90 here in Phoenix, maybe low 90s for the warmest deserts. And low 90s are likely on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. The main storm track stays well to the north of us. High pressure sits right over the southwest. Upper heights somewhere around 585, 588 decameters or so. So yeah, it's going to be warm. It's going to be dry. No real probability of any precipitation. A few passing clouds at times. That's about the only sensible weather that we'll see around here, at least for the next 5 to 7 days. Let's keep it going, though. This is a week from today, Friday the 31st. Yes, it's Halloween. And yes, we are still looking at the possibility of a significant storm system in the Northeast or for the middle Atlantic coast, somewhere maybe even into the eastern Great Lakes. That is still to be determined. There is still a lot of different ways this could play out. This has nothing to do with Melissa, I should point out. This is a mid-latitude cyclone, and you know, these powerful systems, sometimes these, what they sometimes call nor'easters, a term I don't like, but these systems do develop, and this time of the year, this is a prime time for these kinds of storm systems to really ratchet up in that part of the country. Further to the west, for us, high pressures in control, upper heights above average, anywhere from 585 to 588 decameters. So we are warm, we are dry. The main storm track far away from us, so temperatures would remain above average. In fact, this is the temperature output, the high temperatures off the GFS next Friday for Halloween. Yeah, how about upper 80s to near 90 for much of the south central, southwest deserts, maybe exceeding 90 degrees, again, in the warmest desert spots. But as I always tell you, once that sun goes down, it cools off nicely. Let's keep it going. Saturday, the 1st of November. How about a 588 ridge right on top of us? So we continue to be very warm and dry. Again, upper 80s and low 90s if this is right. And I know typically the heat kind of breaks around Halloween, but we had our break in the heat earlier this month. And unfortunately, it looks like we're going to get a little resurgence of it here to close out October and heading into November. This is the end of the forecast period, Sunday, the 2nd of November. And how about that? A 591 ridge now over the southwest and much of the west with well above average temperatures. And we could be in the low 90s, maybe even mid 90s in the warmest desert spots if that verifies. And I say if, but let's take a look at another approach. This is the European at the same time, Sunday, the 2nd of November. It's got same situation, 591 ridge right on top of us. And that looks warm. Dare I call it at least hot for this time of year. with temperatures, again, well above seasonal averages, at least 10, maybe 12, 13 degrees above average, if that is indeed correct. Now, things can change, but we will keep an eye on that. All right, looking at rainfall for Phoenix out through the 7th of November off the GFS ensemble. Basically nothing. A few members way out toward the end of the period maybe show a little bit of rain, but the ensemble mean barely above zero. European ensemble, ostensibly nothing. European AI ensemble, ostensibly nothing. So, over the next couple of weeks, we are going to be locked in this very warm and dry weather pattern. And that's kind of not what we want to see, right? Especially after all that rain we had earlier this month, and now things drying out. So, of course, we do have to worry still about those late season wildfires, especially over the higher terrain of northern and eastern Arizona. We'll be watching for that. Temperatures off the national blend of models, mostly at or above average for the foreseeable future. And yes, we're not done with those 90-degree temperatures yet, I don't think. Here's the CPC outlook. This is the 8 to 14-day period. This is for October 31st through the 6th of November. If this is right, temperatures are heavily skewed probability-wise toward above average out here for much of the West, including Arizona. Precipitation is skewed heavily toward below average, at least for the eastern and northeastern part of the state, maybe near average for us here in south central Arizona, the western portion of the state, but sure looks like we're going to be mostly dry for the foreseeable future. And that is going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell. Leave those comments, questions, and suggestions if you really enjoy these videos. You want to support the channel, just like Brymo PM did yesterday, as well as Barbara, who donated to us using that super thanks option below the video here on YouTube. Well, thank you guys so much for doing that, and you can do that as well if you so desire. Again, click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube and click that thanks. It really helps us out. Of course, you know what else you can do? You can also use our PayPal, groffshow@gmail.com is that PayPal address. It's GROFFshow@gmail.com for PayPal. And our Venmo is also linked up down in the description below, so check that out. Take advantage of that. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. Check her out, blogs, videos, everything Michelle related, Kylie related, Adriana related. It's all linked up down in the description below, so do check that out. Our streaming station available 24/7, 365. It's called KMGX. We play a ton of music and have a lot of fun with that, so give that a look and a listen as well. And I want you to check out Dan over at the Courtroom Files YouTube channel, The Courtroom Files on YouTube, courtroomfiles.com for all your Courtroom Files merch. Dan's got a great channel. I want you to check it out always, but especially because over the next couple of weeks, Monday through Friday, starting the week of the 27th, as well as the week of the 3rd of November, I will be filling in on the live show over there, which is scary, I know, but yes, you can see me every morning, 7 to 10 a.m. Arizona time, Pacific time, which will change once the time changes. It'll become 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Arizona time, and I will be hosting the live show over there on the Courtroom Files YouTube channel. So that'll be exciting. Thank you to Dan for that opportunity. And if you want to see how not to do it, be there and watch me fumble my way around. But it'll be fun. I really do look forward to it. So that'll be over there on the Courtroom Files YouTube channel. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. All of your continued support. It is amazing. It is so greatly appreciated. Please be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there, and have yourselves an absolutely beautiful Friday and a great, wonderful weekend.